The Ann Arbor Newshawks. 3 men bringing you the stories behind the news. Back page stories that should be in the headlines. The stories under the covers. The stories that reveal the muck under the rake in our town. Chance Langford, born and raised in Ann Arbor, a product of the public schools. He attended every college and vocational institution in the county. Well versed in the financial underbelly of our town, a friend of many, intimate with few, a man hoping to make a difference. Beaumont Vivant. He feels odd about revealing his place of birth or his origin. A reporter with his latexed fingers on the pulse of Ann Arbor's sports and education. A reporter with a moral compass. A bit askew, a man hoping to make a difference. And Jacques Labatt, born and raised in Ann Arbor. Our inside source about all political matters, because he's been there. He's gotten his nails dirty with the likes of Lou Belcher and Doug Harvey. A reporter who knows just how far to go. A man hoping to make a difference. Whether it's over Ann Arbor or on the streets, the Newshawks blanket the city. And as masters of disguise, they move about undetected between the town and gown social circles. They can be ruthless when they have to be. And yes, sometimes they just push too hard. But that's what makes them so good. Each having earned his badge of honor, the Newshawks are there for you, Ann Arbor. Chance?
In our first story tonight, we're going to update a story we did a year ago about bike riding commuters coming into Ann Arbor, entitled, "Let the Workday Begin, I've Arrived on My Schwinn." City Council was proposing to extend bike lanes into downtown by narrowing the traffic flow on both Division and 5th. We sent Newshawk reporter Jacques Labatt to report on the bike riding commuters' response to this news.
Thanks, Chance. I'm here on Packard Road, where there's already a bike path leading into Ann Arbor. We're here to look for the bicyclists and get what we're sure to be their enthusiastic response to extending this bike lane all the way into the core of Ann Arbor. Chance, I don't know. I've been here hour and a half, and I haven't seen one bicyclist come by. Is this a national holiday?
We checked in several more times, but Jacques just came up empty.
In the end, even we were starting to question the wisdom of this plan, especially when you consider that Division and 5th are the 2 main north and south arteries, which have, by the city's own estimate, 15,000 cars traveling on them each day. These 15,000 auto commuters, in the words of city officials, will face much more traffic congestion and longer commutes. So after a year, let's go back out to Jacques Labatt for an update on this story.
Thanks, Beaumont. I'm back out here on Packard, and I'm pleased to report that there's been a significant increase in traffic coming into Ann Arbor. It seems like every couple of minutes someone comes pedaling by.
I noticed that Jacques still didn't get anyone to stop for an interview.
That's very strange considering the wide recognition that the Newshawks have.
I know.
Anyway, we are very encouraged because by our very own count, nearly 44 bicycle commuters come into town each day.
It's easier to see this trend on a graph. If we look at the bottom, we see nearly 0 bicycle commuters. But that number has now spiked up dramatically to 44 per day, and the trend is up. And if we look at the other end, the 15,000 automobile commuters that face more congestion and longer commutes, but look at that number. It's down to 14,956 per day and dropping dramatically, and that trend is down. These trend lines are significant, and our conclusion is obvious. We've got to thank City Council for once again being out ahead of the curve in spotting social change.
To give you a better insight into what the city has in mind with regard to reducing the number of automobiles in the downtown, our sources at City Hall were able to get this video. It shows City Council's vision of future traffic flow at the corner of Main and Huron.
On the next show, we're going to continue our theme of commuting into Ann Arbor by looking at City Council's plan to restrict automobile traffic coming over the bridges into downtown as a way of encouraging commuters to take advantage of our natural waterway, the Huron River. What a great way to commute. You reduce air pollution, and at the same time you can make new friends.
Old Man River, he just keeps rolling along.
You won't want to miss that segment. And now, let's take time out for this commercial message.
The Ann Arbor News, a tradition in Ann Arbor for over 174 years. The paper you grew up with. Since we announced in March that we would cease publication of the paper this summer, there has been an outcry from our loyal readers imploring us to reconsider our decision. We have listened, Ann Arbor, and we have made some positive changes in our paper that blend the desires of you, the reader, with today's publishing economics. We are proud to present the new Ann Arbor News, resized for the 21st century. By using innovative printing techniques such as eliminating unnecessary consonants and vowels and the creative use of hyphens, we have packed in the depth of content that you have come to expect, all in a streamlined single-column format. Importantly, the Ann Arbor News retains those unique printed newspaper characteristics that have long been part of your reading experience. Those pesky Sunday inserts fall out just like they always have.
And look, my fingers get smudged, just like they always have.
Maintaining a tradition is important to me. In the evening, I like to get into my easy chair, settle back, and for the next 2 or 3 minutes, I enjoy reading the Ann Arbor News from front to back, just like I always have. The Ann Arbor News' complete coverage is contained in 4 concisely written 4-page sections. The front section covers all of the news from the far corners of Washtenaw County. The local section is next, with stories of interest from around the Ann Arbor area. Included in this section is the business column, where you not only get the latest news from the world of commerce and finance, but also everything from retirement tips to the handy month-end prices of stocks of local interest. The sports page, with in-depth stories and statistics about local, Big Ten, and occasionally other sports teams. And finally, the entertainment section, with local happenings and articles about Tinseltown. And don't forget to check out the back page, because if there's any national or world news, this is where you'll find our concise coverage. Always conveniently located between Sudoku and Beetle Bailey. While we've retained the sections of the paper and the coverage that you've come to expect, the new Ann Arbor News isn't just about maintaining the status quo. There are distinct advantages to our new resized edition. Proper delivery of our paper used to be a problem. But the new resized paper is always right there at the end of your driveway. And curbside recycling sure could be a strain on the back, especially when 80% of our readers are over the age of 55. No longer. Now even 2 weeks of the paper fit neatly in your bin. But because we are using paper that is 1/3 the thickness of our previous stock, there's another choice for the environmentally conscious reader.
Honey, what are you doing?
I'll be out in a minute, honey. I'm just recycling the Ann Arbor News sports page. The Ann Arbor News, the tradition flows on.
Good night, Chance.
Good night, Beaumont.